Welcome to the Florida State Fire College Job Analysis Questionnaire. This video demonstration will instruct you on how to appropriately respond to the questions on the Job Analysis Questionnaire, while also providing a preview for what the survey will look like. So, after completion of this video, which we stress you watch to the entire end of it, you'll be presented with an introduction page. This page will serve as an orientation for the purpose and the reason of this job analysis questionnaire, as well as some relevant information about the questionnaire itself. For example, if you are a volunteer, please only respond from the perspective of a volunteer firefighter. The survey takes approximately 2 to 3 hours to complete, and though it's intended to cover as many job tasks as possible, this means that some job tasks will only be relevant to some individuals, while others may find this job task non-applicable. There are 3 main chapters to the JQ: a task statement section, a KSAO section, and a relative importance rating of these duty areas chapter. Some general instructions about this survey. So upon reviewing each task statement, first determine whether the task statement is applicable or not. If the task statement is applicable, please provide all subsequent rating scales for afterwards. If the task statement is not applicable, please do not mark any additional rating scales after that. So therefore, if you mark NA for any task statement or knowledge statement, do not rate the statement on any of the following scales. After completion of the introduction page, you'll be then presented with a scales page. This page is meant to instruct you on the functioning and the operational definitions of all the different scales used on the survey. The first one being a frequency scale, essentially asking how frequently a task, skill area, etc. is performed, ranging from rarely performed, meaning the task is performed about once a year, all the way up to constantly performed, meaning that the task is performed daily or multiple times a week. Following is an importance scale, which essentially asks how important the task, skill, or ability area is to the entire job. This scale ranges from minimally important up to critically important. Following this is a required upon active duty scale. This scale asks an individual on day 1 of active duty, is the new employee expected to perform the task, skill, knowledge, or ability? Consider that the employee has already completed the academy training and is on their first day of active duty in the department. Respond by selecting either yes, this is required upon active duty, or no, this is not required upon active duty and is best learned on the job, or no, not required upon active duty and can be learned through continuing education. Following the required upon active duty scale is a better performance scale. This scale asks essentially whether the possession of a knowledge, skill, or ability, henceforth referred to as a KSA, would increase job performance. So when responding to the scale, ask yourself, does having more of the knowledge, skill, or ability result in better job performance? Respond to the scale using either yes, possession of this KSA does lead to better job performance, or no, possession does not lead to better job performance. The last scale on the JQ is a reference versus recall scale, which asks the individual, can the knowledge area can be referenced on the job, or must it be recalled from memory? The scale ranges from a continuum from the knowledge area being referenced, and that there is no need to know this information, all the way to the knowledge area unable or cannot be referenced, and that there is a strong need to know this information from memory. After familiarizing yourselves with the scale, please then consider the following 2 examples. There are 2 examples, one for a task statement and one for a KSAO. Notice that the 2 different example questions, a task and a KSAO, have different coordinating scales with each one of them. After reading the instructions provided for each example question, please select the appropriate response options that are detailed above. To do this, you will select the drop-down arrow in each rating scale column and select the appropriate answer response. After doing this for both example questions to familiarize yourself with each scale, please click the Next button at the bottom of the page. This will then take you to our demographic information page. Please fill in your demographic information on the following scales below by either manually typing it in or selecting from the drop-down list or from the current rank selection list. It's important to know that when you're providing this information, all your responses will remain completely confidential and will be not shared with any other third party. This information is only collected for accounting purposes as far as representativeness of our sample and will be stored safely and securely. After providing your demographic information, the last question asks you to select your department. Notice that the department list, while being very long, is split into two drop-down menus. Please select only one department, ensuring that you do not have two departments between both lists. Upon completion of the demographics section, click Next, and this will then take you to the first page of the job analysis questionnaire. This page now will lead on with task statements or KSAO statements on the left-hand side, with the applicable or appropriate scales listed on the right side. For each scale, select the appropriate response from your expert opinion from the drop-down menu, proceeding down in a task-by-task fashion. When reaching the end of the page, please click Next to move on to the next page. This concludes the demonstration orientation for the job analysis questionnaire for the Florida State Fire College.